there, people! Welcome back to Fortune Fastlaner. Did you guys know that Dubai Electricity and Water Authority Dewa began its share subscription last March? Good news is that Dewa surged at an estimated 23% as the utility made its debut on the Dubai financial market. Let's delve into that. Make sure to subscribe and like if you want more of this content. Shares of Dubai Electricity and Water Authority were on the rise for 2 days in a row, soaring about 23%. The company's shares opened for trading the first day at a price of 2.87 dirhams per share, which then rose as high as 3.05 dirhams until it closed at the market value of $39 billion. Dewa has been listed on Abu Dhabi's exchange and is the largest company listed on it. The listing of the Dubai utility is the largest in Europe and the Middle East since Saudi Aramco's debut in 2019. Dubai's Dewa company, a state power utility and one of the country's largest companies, began its ICO Thursday morning amid bullish rhetoric and strong demand by investors. When the time to subscribe for shares opened, it was clear that the IPO would have a value of between 7.31 billion dirhams and 8.06 billion dirhams, generating a total market capitalization in the range of 112.5 billion dirhams to 124 billion dirhams. Dubai-based traders evaluated how much the 6.5% stock flotation implied on IPO size of between 2.25 dirhams to 2.48 dirhams, with a value price at between 2.25 dirhams and 2.48 dirhams, which is not including the amount raised by institutional investors or discounts taken into account. Analysts cheer market reaction as evidence of potential. Al Tayer welcomed Sun Shidong, the Vice Consul General of China, to discuss opportunities with Dewa and Chinese companies to collaborate in renewable energy. Al Tayer congratulated the strategic partnership between the government of Dubai and Chinese companies in the energy and water sectors and other areas of mutual interest. He talked about Dubai's ambitious initiatives and pioneering and innovative development projects it is implementing to achieve the vision. Today, Dubai's tallest building is the beginning of an exciting new chapter in Dewa's growth story, said Saeed Al Tayer, Managing Director and Chief Executive of Dewa. The strong interest we have seen from institutional and retail investors reflects the confidence in us, an internationally recognized utilities company. We are proud to offer investors the opportunity to be a part of our future, supporting Dubai's growth and transition to clean energy. The utility's impressive results also set up the company for success in their initial public offering. Excited by these market numbers, analysts also noted that the company is primed for an IPO. Dewa offers shares at a price of under 3 dirhams per share to help supplement the public capital market. The company is also hoping to bring in fresh investors of all types, including local and national UAE citizens. The first part of shares are allocated to professional individuals who are not shareholders. These investors have a bank account in the UAE and a DFM number known as NIN or NIN. People investing in the second part of shares are institutions like banks and funds, while people in the third portion are employees of Dewa. Dewa has sold over 9 billion ordinary shares at 2.48 dirhams each, forming 18% of its issued share capital. Obviously, this includes commitments from cornerstone and strategic investors worth about 13.8 billion dirhams. The offering garnered strong interest from local and international investors. Institutional investors represent about 2/3 of the 37 times oversubscribed demand, with a total demand of 315 billion dirhams. This company increased the size of its stock listings from 3.25 billion to 9 billion shares because of robust demand. In the IPO, 260 million shares are offered to individual investors, together with a guaranteed minimum allocation of 1,000 shares. This is their total allotment. Out of 65 million shares allocated to Dewa employees, only 2.925 billion are offered to professional or institutional investors. While individual investors and Dewa employees are required to commit a minimum of 5,000 dirhams, any additional investments have a minimum of 1,000 dirhams. Sudong is optimistic about the partnership with Dewa on renewable and clean energy projects in Dubai. Dewa plans to expand its clean energy projects using machine learning and AI technology simultaneously. With the accumulation of world-class infrastructure, including savings for their customers and top-notch innovation, Dubai Electricity and Water Authority Dewa is on target to become a pioneering sustainable energy company. Dewa UAE has beaten Emirates NBT, the largest bank in the Dubai market, with a 23.63% weight on DFM General Index and a market cap of $91.85 billion. The chairman of Dubai Stock Exchange, Helal Al-Marri, said that their diversification strategy is one that focuses on attracting IPOs and listing from varied economic sectors. Their ultimate goal is to increase the representation of dynamic economic sectors that play a pivotal role in the economy of Dubai and the United Arab Emirates. With plans for 10 state-owned companies to be listed in the DFM, Dubai seeks to increase its financial market to 3 trillion dirhams. Dewa is the first firm to join this plan. Subscription period for the share offering begins on March 24. Pre-registered investors can buy shares starting March 24 before the subscription period starts. April 2 is the day individuals can no longer subscribe to or buy any more shares before trading commences on April 12. Similarly, after April 15, professional investors or institutions cannot subscribe or buy any more shares a day after which their investments will be allocated. In November, the Emirate also announced plans to set up a 2 billion dirhams market maker fund to encourage the listing of more private companies from sectors such as energy, logistics, and retail. Officials said the next entity expected to be listed on the Dubai financial market is the Salik toll system last year. On Tuesday, Dewa's 2021 profit soared a little over 75% to about 7 billion as demand for electricity in Dubai rose and the economy continues to recover rapidly from its slowdown caused by the pandemic. Dewa Power Generation Limited issued a statement to the Dubai financial market stating, according to their performance this year, demand for electricity increased by 10%. Because of this surge, they believe it is returning to normal in Dubai after COVID. Individual investors could view their share allotments on April 11 and any excess subscription monies, if any, would be refunded back. The price range, 2.25 to 2.48 dirhams, by which you, as a potential investors, can subscribe to Dewa IPO shares, was published on March 24. On April 6, the price for subscriptions will be announced. Opening subscriptions today will generate a bigger response than an IPO in Dubai, according to analysts. Dewa Group of companies announced its earnings were up to 17% in 2020, reaching 23.8 billion dirhams in revenues, while assets climbed to 169.5 billion dirhams. And as of December 31, 2020, Dewa had a total electricity generation capacity of 13,417 megawatts and a water capacity of 490 million imperial gallons per day through 8 majority-owned and operated plants. Emirates says it's currently spending about $86 billion over the next 5 years to make sure its residents have enough power and water. Dewa's operations in electricity production and distributed energy, desalination of water, and district cooling. They operate as a vertically integrated business. If you are on the fence about investing in Dewa's IPO, one reason to invest in stocks is because they generally offer the potential for massive gains that take years or even decades to materialize. This can happen as soon as you see a company start paying out dividends given enough time. First and foremost, this leads us to why investing in stocks is so highly beneficial. Dewa Securities will pay dividends twice a year, once in both April and October. It's anticipated to pay a minimum dividend amount of $6.2 billion per annum over the next 5 years, from October 2022 to April 2027. By following a business model that's actually tripling its annual dividend target after listing. Dubai's demand for electricity is expected to increase, with their population expected to grow to 5.8 million by 2040 from 3.5 million currently, which bodes well for the company's future earnings. On the days before the date the company goes public or their stock trades on the market, they develop the offer price. This happens during a subscription period. Businesses give investors an opportunity to buy shares in the company before they officially go public. These shares are called new issues or market debuts. Subscriptions are common during IPOs and subsequent offerings, which are typically reserved for institutional or accredited investors. Another reason why this deal could set a new record is because it is the first IPO on the Dubai financial market since 2020 and is expected to be the UAE's biggest IPO on the DFM in the last 2 years. One of the region's largest investors in the energy sector, Multiply Group CEO Samaya Bawaza, is excited about Dewa's 2050 Vision Plan, which envisions utility systems becoming fully integrated and emission-free by the year. We remain confident that our investment will generate substantial long-term value for our shareholders. The company pays a dividend twice each year, in April and October. A minimum dividend of 6.2 billion dirhams is expected to be paid over the next 5 years. Analysts predict the demand for IPO shares in the Middle East is at an all-time high, and government entities should do well with the same demand as new IPOs. Given the recent rush of investor interest in newly listed government entities in Dubai, this should be true for government entities as well. ADNOC Drilling, the largest national drilling company in the Middle East by rig fleet size, had its listing oversubscribed late last. The unit of Abu Dhabi Oil Grant ADNOC had its $1.1 billion IPO surpassed by investors placing more than $38 billion of orders. The Dewa offering will reignite activity in the DFM, which is indirect evidence of the interest of investors with different needs, said Mohamed Fahmi, co-head of investment banking at EFG Hermes. With multiple successful startups set to be offered up for public purchase and a thriving business scene that attracts investors from all over the world, the United Arab Emirates is quickly becoming an international focal point for investment. In what was the third largest IPO ever, Fertiglobe raised $795 million Abu Dhabi's energy major ADNOC and Netherlands-listed OCI helped fund the transaction through a joint venture agreement. The latest initiatives in Dubai are game changers from an overseas market perspective. Foreign investors are expressing significant interest to the DFM, which indicates that this financial market is on the rise. The market being synchronous with all-time highs for both financial and government assets makes Dubai perfect for portfolio diversification in commodity, real estate, and other high-quality investments. Other major stocks such as real estate, telecom, and banks have been active on the DFM in recent years. Interestingly enough, trading volumes have been lower in comparison to what they were during 2005 to 2008. Analysts are predicting that the Dewa listing can create significant trading volumes with the foreign investor interest. Business activities in Dubai are improving year by year, with the company acquired up to 190 billion dirhams in assets and generating a total revenue of 23.8 billion dirhams during the years of 2019 to 2021. These activities made the company grow by 2% annually at this time. Utility giant, which generated 12.1 billion dirhams in revenue during 2021, is likely to have a strong balance sheet with net debt of just 17.6 billion dirhams as of last year. Since the city of Dubai recently announced its explicit targets like the Dubai Net Zero Carbon Emission Strategy 2050 and the Dubai Clean Energy Strategy 2050, Dewa hopes to provide 100% of the city's energy production from clean sources by 2050. Dewa has a good reputation for managing its complex operations and is ready to meet the increasing demand for electricity and water in Dubai, as the population is expected to grow from 3.5 million people today to 5.8 million people by 2040. Dewa has several projects on hand, such as mega solar plant funded by a major transition to renewable energy. These projects require heavy capital and are projected to cost up to $9 billion this year. In terms of debt, the CEO hinted earlier that the company wants to keep its load light, saying Dewa will not need to raise debt in the next 5 years. Analysts agree that while the company's focus on sustainability, they have had a financially sound past and will continue to prosper with their intentions. This is what consumers are hoping for in regard to the upcoming IPO. If your brokerage doesn't have an allotment to trade, here are ways to increase the chances you will get one. All IPO shares are usually available for only the first few days. Once you have received a share, it is referred to as an allotment or IPO allotment when trading shares of a company on the public market. Be sure to bid early on an opportunity. One day of its availability increases your chances of being allotted. Additionally, it is recommended that you bid as soon as possible. In the world of stocks and bonds, new companies require more funds than they have recently. Often, there is no way to know if investors will be able to secure a share before a company releases an IPO. Often, the process to participate in an IPO is limited only to brokerage's wealthier clients. 4. Those who are interested in participating in a public offering may be able to do so through their brokerage firm, although access to a public offering may be limited to brokerage's larger clients. IPOs are in demand among investors because they can produce volatile price movement on the day of the IPO and shortly thereafter. This type of investment can often allow for large profits. It's important for investors to analyze every company according to the prospectus, their specific financial situation, and risk tolerance. To make an informed decision, you should spend enough time with the company's materials to determine whether or not it is worth investing in. When deciding how much to pay for a company, investors should take market value into account. In the beginning, they should compare their potential investment to industry averages and companies in the same sector. Expert investing advice always to look back at how the stock price of recent IPOs ended up performing. The IPO aims to help the Emirates Exchange compete more effectively with bigger rivals in the region, such as those in Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi. Dubai government was aiming to raise liquidity and increase their international profile by selling 18% of shares in the company. The demand for Dewa Corporation's IPO has been strong, and they have had to first raise the size of the draw of this offer, which in turn went up almost 3 times on Saturday. Citigroup, Emirates NBD Capital, and HSBC are meeting to coordinate the global IPO, while Credit Suisse, EFG Hermes, First Abu Dhabi Bank, PJSC, and Goldman Sachs are collaborating on the project. That's it for this video, Fortune Fastlaner. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and if you feel like we have delivered value, please share this video with one person. That's right, just one person, as a token of your appreciation for the hard work we put into making content that educates and helps you on your mission of building your own fortune. Remember, you can watch video after video, but it isn't until you actually take action that you will start to see results. See you soon.